So now I'd like to talk about these little text boxes on each page. Written out in the text boxes is an ephemeris of the location of each of the planets by sign and by direction. And it indicates whether it's changing signs, turning direct, or going retrograde. So it makes a handy monthly reference point. And on page 5, you'll even find a handy retrograde table that will give you all the retrogrades for the year in one handy table, and also an eclipse table that gives you all the eclipses on one table for the whole year, although they're noted on the regular monthly pages as well.
Right. This is very, very helpful because when you're looking at the individual days and you're looking at the box and it's saying, for instance, what's a good example? Mercury trine Jupiter, right? That's good to know. But wouldn't it be nice to know what signs they were in? Well, what you do is you go to the box at the top, and there you'll see what sign they were in. And then now you have a real flavor of it. If Mercury's in a ruling sign or if it's in a weaker sign, if they're both in the same element, for instance, both in air signs or they're both in fire signs, it gives you a real sense of the flavor of the energy that's going on, because that's a pretty powerful aspect. Mercury's trine Jupiter, that's communications and philosophy all in one package. Good time to go to the library.
And of course, it's interesting to note when Mercury is in the sign of your natal Mercury, right, or if it's in the sign of your sun, because that helps you use that energy a little bit more, and that aspect is going to be more significant to you if it's something that you relate to natally, or it might be more challenging to you if it's in a sign that really is the opposite or at a square to your natal sign. So just knowing the position of what sign these planets are in just adds to the fact that, you know, I mean, it would be important enough to know that Mercury is trine Jupiter. That means communications are going to be expanded in some way. But the signs will give you the flavor of that expansion.
And when you're looking at the box too, you can see when are the planets going to turn retrograde or when they're going to turn direct. Well, right before they turn retrograde or direct, their apparent motion from the Earth slows because they're getting ready to change direction. Well, when a planet slows, the activities related to that planet slow down too. And in fact, many times you'll see, like if Mercury, for instance, we come up with Mercury a lot, but that's because he's easy to notice. If Mercury is moving fast, you notice that all your projects related to paper, all your projects related to contracts and communications really accelerate. Mailings, they just really, really pick up speed. But when Mercury is about to turn retrograde or about to turn direct, it's getting these projects moving. It's just they just pile up on the desk, and you think, why am you know?
It's interesting that you said that, because people will call us or contact us and they'll say, is Mercury retrograde? I mean, I really feel like the things that are happening around me make me feel as though Mercury is retrograde, but I don't think it's retrograde yet. Sometimes they're feeling that slowdown in advance of the planet actually stationing to go retrograde. So you get a little bit of a hint about what the Mercury retrograde is going to be like a little bit in advance when that planet slows.
It's just like having that person in the traffic before you who's just in the 35-mile-an-hour area, and they're going 15, and they're slowing, looking for the number, and you're thinking, why are they slowing down?
The flip side of that, I have to say, I have a little bone to pick with the universe, is when a planet goes too fast.
Yes.
Because when we had a Jupiter return, we were so excited to finally get our Jupiter return. Jupiter usually stays in a sign for a year.
Right.
And when we got our most recent Jupiter return, it was in the sign for 6 months.
Right, fast
Gypped.
Jupiter. Gypped.
We were really
shortchanged.
Gypped. So, you know, fast or slow, it does contribute a lot to the experience of that planet. So it's something that you can think about when you're seeing that planets are changing directions.
Yeah, it just shows you that being an astrologer doesn't mean you get to cook the books.
I know. Don't you think we should have gotten some little
type
extra
special compensation,
kind of...
something,
Exactly.
yes,
Exactly.
from the universe.
We even have a song that we sing for Mercury to protect us from bad Mercury retrogrades. I guess we should have made one for Jupiter.
Yes. So I hope you find the Ephemeris helpful. It's a great, great tool.